Adventures in Lollygagging, and we're playing Delta Green tonight. If anyone's in the channel, hello, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this later on the YouTubes or on VOD or something like that, thanks for watching it there. We are on episode 5 of the first chapter of Impossible Landscapes, and I finally feel that I can reveal to you all the name of that first chapter. I kind of held it off because I didn't want to. I felt it was kind of spoilery. So the name of chapter 1 is The Night Floors, and yeah. So there you go. Anyway, it's no
Okay.
big deal. I just call it Impossible Landscapes because that's the name of the whole campaign. Interestingly enough, Night Floors is like used to be its own separate. It was like its own separate operation years ago, and it was, and like they built up like Impossible Landscapes using that as the first step. So it's kind of interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So okay. Before we get going, a couple other things about us. We play other games. This is our channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're at twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. We play mostly Mondays and Fridays, but we're going to be starting up a kind of an on again, off again Saturday thing pretty soon. Right now, we're doing Delta Greens on Friday. We're doing Alien on Mondays, and soon we're going to be playing some Worlds Without Number as well. Ashley, you're playing tomorrow night, I believe, over on the
Goodman
Goodman
Games
Games
official.
official. You'll be
Yep.
playing Umerica with the Defenders of Cobalt and Steam Steel
Yep.
Murder. And yeah, so let's get started. Yeah. So things. So basically, the premise of this particular operation, Operation Alice, is it's 1995. It's New York City. You have decided to name yourselves the D Cell. I like it. And you are all activated and brought to New York. And you met with your handler, an Agent Marcus, who was basically assigning you FBI covers to go to a place called the McAllister Building and dig through the contents of a missing young artist's apartment, which is hoarder like, and there's all sorts of nonsense in there. Hey Galen, hey Bart, thanks for hanging out tonight. Just starting up. So yeah, you were assigned to kind of start going through her stuff because she's missing. Possible kidnapping, but there was apparently an occult symbol that was found. During the course of your investigation, as you interrogated some of the other tenants, as you just explored the building, well, you realized that there was more to the building than meets the eye. Initially, it was only like a 3-floor building and a basement as well. But as you started to explore, going upstairs and hearing about some night manager that was upstairs and how Abigail Wright just moved upstairs, you kept going upstairs. You're looking for the roof at one point, and you stumbled across the smoking lounge and this endless or near endless, seemingly endless array of hallways and floors and rooms that should not be here. It doesn't make any physical sense with how this brownstone building has been laid out. And so, one by one, all of you made your way up here. Actually, 2 by 2, I should say. Album and Fawn were the first ones up here. They were exploring for a while. Eventually, Vessel and Chelsea made it up here. So, Album's been wandering around, getting kind of lost and frustrated, but he did find this torn up newspaper from the early 1900s last time that described an architectural Picasso named Asa Darabandi. Fawn, you managed to find your way back to the smoking lounge last time, and you convinced Mark Rourke, who you all have met at this point, this kind of southerny salesman man who likes to drink bourbon and smoke cigars. You managed to convince him to take you to go see the night manager, Castaigne. What did you think of Castaigne? What did you learn from Castaigne?
Um, he, yes, I think I was hoping for this sort of font of all the knowledge that would make everything make sense. Um, the interesting thing about him is that he had a weird accent, and when he identified sort of the language that he speaks, it is a like Iron Age kind of language. So
Yeah.
he is not from the now, even remotely close.
Mm-hmm. And he also had a bunch of like those weird newspapers and clippings and stuff that described
Hmm.
like historical events that doesn't kind of line up with what you know. And it was actually almost the perfect person to go speak to him, because your archaeological and historical knowledge allowed you to kind of put some, two and two together. You would actually recognize the specific dialect, or at least basically get the specific dialect from him. Let's see. Vessel and Chelsea, you went upstairs eventually. Chelsea, you saw some strange, like, sexual deviant pictures, including one that may or may not have your sister in it.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
messed up. Why would I do stuff like that? And you also both saw dudes with shotguns and gas masks chasing other people, and gunfire.
That we found were marionettes.
And you found marionettes on the ground with some IDs from people from the 1950s. Let's see. What else did you guys do? Eventually, all one by one started to kind of reunite with one another. You managed to find each other in these different hallways. You found like a hallway that was filled with pictures of different people that were holding various odd bottles, and they had their names on it. One picture was a little different. It had Lana Bogdan on the frame, and just a picture of a bottle, no person in it. And when Agent Fawn reached out to grab it, a voice spoke out to her, warning her about the dangers of being the focus of a living god. And you found Album as well. Both Album and Fawn started scratching some nonsense symbol. When they did, all of you sort of spoke, like you said, have you seen the yellow sign? Have you seen the yellow sign? Have you seen the yellow sign? No one really understands why or how that happened. This you didn't even realize you were saying it when you did. But as far as Vessel and Chelsea are concerned, it's just nonsense scratches. It makes no sense. But and then the last couple things we saw is you all encountered a group of like hospital patients. Some of whom had bracelets on that had the names of people in the group. So yep. I believe we had Benjamin Lancet and we had Maggie Rhodes. So both your again, these are your real identities. So you guys don't know each other's real identities, but each one of you would know that. And the last thing we saw and the last thing we heard was the sound of a bouncing ball, and then a dog, a big gray mastiff, come tumbling out of a room in a hallway, slamming against a hallway wall, picking up this red bouncing ball, looking over at you all, and then cocking its head. So let's start, right? Like, that's good? Are we good? I think we're good. Right?
Wait, what were you saying about Darabandi?
So Agent Album found a torn up newspaper from the 1900s. And it was naming somebody by the name of, I think it was Asa Darabandi. Mm-hmm. You also saw a grouping of photos on the wall.
And A. Darabandi was
one of them. Was an A. Yep. Darabandi as well.
Yep.
There were a bunch of other names too. I think there was H. Lundeen, D. Carver, J. Lindsay,
E. Lassett.
Yep. Okay.
G. Top
chick. Yeah.
And H. Lunding.
H. Lundeen, yeah. Okay. So let's start it up then. I'm gonna get some
doggy.
I'm gonna get some creepy mood music going in the background, as per usual. So all of you in the middle. So right now, you are all on kind of a marble intersection, like this kind of ornate little intersection in between It's a four-way intersection of hallways and doors. And you just saw a red ball come bouncing out of an open door halfway down one of these hallways. It's a different. The patients ran off in a different direction. And you saw it bounce against the wall, and then seconds later you hear like the heavy thumping, and then this big gray mastiff bursts out of the doorway, slams against the wall, kind of falls down like it was chasing after it, and then picks up the ball in its mouth, looks at you all, and cocks its head. They're about, we'll say, 20 feet from you. What would you all like to do?
Obviously pet the dog. Because I touched things like 2 episodes ago and nothing bad happened, so let's try that again.
You move, you're going to approach the dog.
Yes.
Okay. Are you just going to walk up to it? Is there any particular manner in which you're approaching the dog?
The friendly sort of way that you kind of approach a dog that you've never interacted with before.
Can you give us a little taste of what that's like? Little taste?
So Fawn will sort of walk up and be like, hey there, little doggy. See if it reacts to the voice.
It just sort of cocks its head and looks up at you. Tilts it now over to the other side. And it's pretty big. It's a pretty big dog. You keep getting closer and closer. Tell you what. Just because it would be fun. Just because it would be fun. Go ahead and just roll a charisma times 5.
Times 5?
Yeah, so it would be 65.
Got it.
He's Cooper Shaggy at. He's burying Scrappy's corpse in one of these rooms. So
that's a fail.
Yeah, you approach. It doesn't seem to be like warm to your reception, but it doesn't also like growl. It just kind of stares at you as you walk up, and then it kind of takes a step back.
I'll pick up the ball.
Okay, we'll say the ball drops on the ground. Sure, no problem. Ball drops. Boom, boom, boom.
And I'll kind of, bounce the ball and see if the dog kind of tracks the red ball.
Okay, yeah, and you can see its head kind of going up and down as it's watching it.
Okay.
You see a little bit of saliva drop down from it as it's kind of waiting.
And then I'll kind of bounce the ball down the hall and be like, where'd you come from, boy?
Okay.
Or girl.
Where are you throwing it?
Where I thought it came out of, because it came out of a door.
It came out of a door, and you can see that the door's open and there's like a room inside.
Okay, then I'll just kind of keep bouncing the ball so it follows me, but I want to like wave everybody down to look inside.
Okay, so you're just going to kind of coax it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going into the room? It's just, again, it's like another one of these like kind of apartment style rooms, not very big from what you can see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make sure everybody followed me, but yeah,
they'll decide whether they follow you.
Go inside.
But yeah, you go.
I will go inside.
Okay, you start going inside the room, but as you like take a step into the room, you hear it bark at you, just roof. And like you look back and you see like its little like there's a little nub kind of in the back, just kind of wagging a bit like roof.
I'm gonna do the throw the ball at the wall thing.
Okay, so you back out into the hallway, bounce it off the wall. It kind of leaps up to try to get it, but it misses by a mile. Like it's so like lanky, and it continues to try to get it, and just kind of patting the ball all sorts of directions, and you can see the ball just slowly roll down the hallway, kind of opposite from where people are coming from, the intersection, and it's just like chasing after it, and its big giant paws, and its big clumsy legs, it's just having trouble grabbing it, and every time it reaches out to hit it with its paws, it just knocks it forward, and it continues to chase it and chase it and chase it.
Oh.
So what do I see inside the apartment?
Okay. So inside the apartment, when you go in, you see that there's a bench. Just sort of, when I say a bench, it looks like, well, actually, roll intelligence times 5. Okay.
Success.
It's basically looks like a dugout bench or benches or like bleachers from a baseball field.
Okay.
And you can see like it's just one long one smack there bolted into the ground. And you can see that sitting on top of it, there is what looks like a hawker's tray that kind of move up and down in the stadium. And you can see there's like a couple different candy cane blooms that are sticking out. And there's like a couple chocolate bars, and then there's a big bag of fortune cookies. What are the rest of you doing? So the rest of you just saw Fawn go out of sight as she turned into a room, and you're watching now the dog like almost comically chase this ball further and further down the hallway and away from you all, like constantly slapping after it and just never quite being able to get it.
Is the room she went to like part of a hallway that keeps continuing?
It's a long hallway, okay, and the dog's going down it. She went into one of the rooms from that hallway.
Right. Okay, I'll just follow for now.
Okay.
See what's happening.
You go down the hall, you look in, she's there, and you can see her. She's poking around in like in some stuff in the middle of the room.
Album will stand outside of the room and just kind of like nervously look around. He's not going to go into the room though.
Fair
He's
enough.
just waiting for the hallway to change.
Okay, got it.
Uh,
Chelsea.
I'm probably gonna stay with Album because
Okay.
he's been stressed.
Okay. So those of you out in the hallway, you watch as the dog just continues to chase after this ball and chase after this ball until finally you see it just slam into the wall at the end of this hallway, and you see this big crack just form from where it slammed, and you can see that it suddenly starts to worm its way into what looks like a this large crack in the wall, and then disappears.
Okay. I kind of want to go check out the crack.
It's probably another 40 or 50 feet, maybe 40 feet down the hallway.
I'll wait for Fawn and Vessel to come out of the room.
Okay. Okay, so Vessel, you look over Fawn's shoulder. You see the same thing. It's basically kind of like a bleachered bench. You see like a hawker's supply of cotton candy, like chocolate bars, like, and what looks like a fairly large bag of fortune cookies.
Doesn't mean anything.
Fawn will grab one candy cane, one chocolate bar, and the bag of fortune cookies.
They're not candy canes, cotton candy. Sorry.
Cotton candy. Sorry. Okay.
It's not saying Christmas episode. So yeah, you grab a thing of cotton candy and you grab some chocolate.
Okay. If it's cotton candy, I'll just leave it because that's a little bit bulky. But I'll grab a chocolate bar and fortune cookies, and
Grab-
I'll open one up because why not?
Okay.
It's a fortune cookie.
So you open up
In a weird
this
building.
large bag of fortune cookies. You reach in, you grab one.
Yeah, and I'll toss one to Vessel.
Okay.
Catch it.
Okay. Do you roll to? No, just kidding. Yeah, you open it up, and when you do, you can see that inside of the fortune cookie that you just cracked open, there's a piece of paper. It's got typewriter font. It's a little bit bigger than you would be accustomed to that normal little slip, but it's still fairly small. And as you're looking at it, it looks like a stage direction, and it's in italics. And it says, "Vessel accepts the peanut butter and jelly sandwich."
And which one of us got this one?
You did. You're the
Oh,
one
I
who said
did.
you opened it.
I will hand it over to Vessel. Did you do
Yeah,
this?
at the boys' apartments. He's the only one that would know.
I need both of you to roll sanity.
Success.
Okay.
Failed.
Okay. Take 1 point of sanity, Fawn, and you can mark helplessness for this long. So it's what you were asking about before we started.
Let's not get so worked up on it, Fawn. It's just a fortune cookie.
So I mark it because I
You
lost
don't.
sanity.
You lost sanity. He gets to make a check mark. So the idea is basically there's little check marks on the character sheet.
Right. If you lose sanity,
If
but
you
you don't go insane.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got it backwards. Yeah, you're right. The way that Melissa said it. So you don't get to check it. You actually lose sanity. Okay.
Okay.
God.
So now Fawn will turn to Vessel and say, "So what does yours say?"
Oh, let's get out of here and we'll find out. I'll open it as we leave.
Okay. So you open it up, and you see a stage direction that says, "Vessel quietly lurks outside of Manuel's workshop."
Oh, that's a bit strange. I don't think anyone was watching me then.
So I guess we'll exit the apartment.
Okay.
With that. And-
what are your two? Actually, no. It's only be a Vessel. Vessel, what's your forensics at?
30.
Oh, okay. The typeface looks interesting to you. It looks familiar. And
so
you
maybe I've seen
realize
it.
that the play sheet that you found when you and Chelsea were looking through Abigail's apartment, the typeface matches.
Yeah, I'll explain this. It matches up. We're in some sort of joke or something.
Fawn's just gonna keep opening.
Okay.
For cookies.
Great. So you keep opening them up.
We don't have to do.
No,
all
no,
of
no.
it,
It's
I'm
fine.
just
It's
saying,
fine. No, I'm
like,
just teasing. It's a Vessel vomits on his clothes and out the window into the street. There's various lines of dialogue where he's questioning, like, Manuel, like, don't you know who I am? And there's questions to, like, Van Fitz. There's questions to a few others as well. Oh, that's some lag. There's
All about
also a
Vessel.
fairly long and nonsensical conversation with Vessel's sister, where she thinks that that Vessel's working too much and pushing himself too hard and needs a break. Vessel, go ahead and
Is
roll
that why
sand.
it's nonsensical? Because there's no such thing as working too hard.
Not if you're a Delta Green agent. Can't
said
work
roll
hard
sand?
enough. Roll sand. Yeah, Vessel. Just Vessel for that last bit.
What?
Just
I
for that
failed
last
this time.
Okay. All right. 1 second. I'm
This
going
is
to roll this.
nonsense. How would
You're-
they know?
Take 4 points of sanity damage.
That's pretty thick, but I'm alright.
Is that helplessness again?
This is helplessness, yeah.
Now you can take the check as long as you didn't go
Okay.
insane.
So how does 4 points of sanity damage look? Like, because this is still eating away, even though you didn't hit a breaking point. Like, what does that
Right.
look for you? As you're holding this, what looks to be pieces of a conversation between you and your sister.
My hands will shake a bit. The cookies will crumble around my fingers. I'll just mutter to myself, like, they've been watching for so long. How would they know? And just go in a little bit like a shake. Nervous shakedown, I guess.
Okay.
There's vomit on his shirt already. Peanut butter and jelly.
Palm sweaty.
He stinks. Okay.
So Fawn will kind of see that and be like, "All right, that's enough. What's going on out here?" And she'll kind of direct that to Chelsea.
The dog put a crack in the wall and was able to get through, like when he hit it. So I think we should check that out. Just don't overthink it. Let's just go. Come on.
Sure.
You walk down the hallway.
I'm
And-
just clinging to the back of Chelsea's shirt.
I like to think I have like my purse satchel, and you're just like holding onto the strap.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He's had a bad night. He's had it rough.
Yeah.
You get to the end of the hallway, which extends outward down a single turn. And when you get there and you inspect the crack, you realize this isn't a crack. It's like a painted-on mural of a crack. All you go ahead and roll sanity for that.
Okay. Jeff's like, haha,
Oh,
baited.
very nice. Oh, look
Critical
at you.
success.
Look at
Yeah.
you. Oh, I forgot to look up whether there was something you get for a critical success. Yeah, all you're fine. This is
Success.
normal. Like, you got us. Wait, where'd the dog go? And you don't see any signs of the dog.
What about the red
Does
ball?
the paint look fresh?
Yeah, you put your hand again. No. No. Doesn't peel off, doesn't look wet or anything like that.
Is there there's no evidence of like a door behind the mural?
Mm-mm. No.
Oh god. Okay.
Fawn's gonna try to remember. I'm not sure if there's a roll that I can do, but she was able to get back to the smoking room once before, and so she's gonna do her best to try to remember like how exactly that happened.
Roll sanity.
Oh, I failed.
Yeah, you get this kind of faint like smell in your nostrils of cigar smoke, kind of coming down the hallway to your right, and you just start putting one foot in front of the other. Halfway down the hallway, you get the faint sounds of like early jazz music. You see this archway that you walk through, and the floor is suddenly marble, and you can kind of hear the sounds even better. You see a small flight of stairs that goes up. You follow that up. You make a left at the top, and another left around the railing, and then you see the double green doors that lead back into the smoking lounge room. It takes maybe 5 minutes.
Oh,
However,
thank goodness.
as you're walking towards those green doors, you hear the sound of something from one of the doors next to you, like one of the doors along the way. You just hear like this kind of like whimpering, but it doesn't sound like a dog. You just hear like a
Fawn will want to open the door, but we'll turn back to Chelsea and say, keep an eye on that door. Don't everybody follow. And Fawn will open the door.
Okay. Were you gonna say something?
No, like okay.
You open the door, and a figure bursts out of it and stumbles to the ground, kind of gets up, looks up at you guys, and it's this kind of disheveled looking man with kind of a scraggly beard, messed up hair. He absolutely reeks, and he looks very pale and terrified. He looks up at you all, and he tries to kind of crawl away and tries to run towards the railing that you just passed by. And he's like, no. And he starts trying to just push past you guys. What are you doing?
Hold on to him for a sec. Be like, calm down, sir. What's your name? Do you know where you are?
No, you can't have me. No. And he's like kind of pushing and pulling at you. Question: do any of you have visible like FBI? Do you have like your FBI badges or anything like that? Anybody wearing one of those things?
I thought we did, since we had those made for us, right?
Yeah, but is it visible? Like, are you wearing it, or are you just keeping it?
Mine's
Yeah,
probably on my lanyard from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Album would wear his around his neck.
Okay.
Kind of like, yeah.
He will launch himself towards Album, and he will start to, help me. You got me. He like kind of grabs onto your FBI badge, right? And he's just kind of, you gotta help me. You gotta get me out of here. Get to freaking prison. Get me, please. I've been here for months. I just, please get me out. Please.
Album's just gonna try to, I guess, persuade him to like take a few deep breaths and just try to collect himself real quick.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Success.
Okay, yeah, you definitely, you're like, okay, calm down. We're here to help. And he takes some deep breaths and, your FBI?
I feel like Album would do a very good job.
Yeah.
I'd be like, have the hallway swallowed you yet? You're fine.
Can I just hold both albums in this guy's hand? Like,
Oh man! The funny thing is, I think isn't Album one of the ones who you've been on missions before too.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
still breaking you. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually the two people that have done this before are the two people that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We know how serious it gets.
Okay. So I think I have a picture of this guy. There we go. So yeah, you see him just start to. Okay, okay. But you can get me out. You can get me out, right?
This guy looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's Uma McGregor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start heading towards the smoking lounge doors.
Okay. So you kind of continue wandering in the direction of the cigar smoke, the smell,
Yeah, and
then
I'm-
you see the green doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like holding on to both album and whatever this guy is. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
what's your name, agent?
Agent, I'm a cable guy. I just shut off. I just installed cable. Just get me out. Just get me, please.
Okay.
Cable guy, what's your name?
What's your name?
David.
David.
David. Langford. Langford.
Okay.
You said you'd been here for a few months. How do you know?
Because what do you mean? How do I know? It's been.
What was the date when you got to this building?
And he's tossing things. March. It was March. I had to come and I had to shut off the cable because they weren't paying the bills. None of them. Any of them.
What was the year?
The year? What do you mean? 1995. It's 1995.
Okay, you're fine.
Who wasn't paying the bill?
Oh, nobody was working. Why are we talking now? Can we please leave? Why do we have to have
We're
these
moving.
conversations here? Can we go?
We're going to the door. We're talking and walking.
And he's just yeah. At a certain point, he's going to become. You're going to need to get him out of the situation that he's in if you want to talk to him some more. Where he's just like, no, just let me go. You kick the door open to the smoking lounge, and it's currently empty. Just no one's there. You hear the sound of music again. You see the wet bar, the fire's still going, all that kind of stuff. Chairs are there. Whole bookcase.
Door we came through there.
You do in fact see the door that you came through to get back and through into the to the main parts of the McAllister building.
Let's go.
Oh god. And you start to lead him out, and when you push open the door, there's that same kind of ladder staircase going down, really narrow. Someone goes down first, and then you kind of feed him down to the rest of you, and you are on the familiar second floor of the McAllister building, empty. A faint sconce or light from a sconce. You take a quick look down the hallway to one of there's a window in the hallway, and you expect it to be morning. You expect there to be light coming through, but it's not. It's dark, and one of you then probably looks at your watch really quickly, and you realize that it's been minutes.
Yeah. Agent Vessel and I don't think are surprised because it was only like an hour when we went upstairs.
Fawn, on the other hand, is quite surprised.
Okay, well then roll sand. No,
I am quite surprised.
nah, it's okay.
Album, knowing what month it is compared to what month that David went into this building, is just gonna try and find like a bottle of water and maybe like a first aid kit if there's any, in maybe Abigail's apartment. I don't remember what was in our.
You guys have some
supplies
gear.
box.
Yeah, you probably have some gear. So you head down to Abigail Wright's apartment. And he's just like crawling on all fours, like, oh, thank you. Just like kissing the ground and like grabbing the. It's like, oh god. I need to go. And he's just like just starting to babble. But you get him inside the apartment, and he kind of looks around at the vastness of the horde of nonsense in here, and he's, oh no 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 no, and he kind of pushes at the frame. It's like, no 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 no, I'm not, no 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 no
You're gonna be safe.
no
You're
no
gonna
no
be
no
safe
no
in
no
here.
no.
We just need to talk to you.
He's gonna turn around and try to bolt. So
Oh no.
like
I'll
give chase.
well, first I'll just say, why don't, if you want, go ahead. So who was kind of escorting him? I think Album said he was.
Right.
So let's say you can roll athletics to see if you can just kind of grab onto him before he, or tackle him, or just kind of like pin him against the wall or something like that.
Could fail, no.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. You reach out to grab him, and he like stiff arms you to the ground, and you just sort of tumble and roll for a bit and slam against the wall. And then he gets past you, and he's running. He's just running for the front door of the apartment, like the apartment building. What are the
As
rest
in
of you
chat, I would like to do an ankle tackle check.
doing? Okay. Please roll your ankle tackle skill. Yeah, go ahead and roll
So
athletics.
athletics.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
And
I'm
out
not
and
particularly
eight
athletic
album.
person.
I think go ahead and take a willpower, or actually go ahead and take a damage for that. Let's say he actually literally pushed you down to the ground, and you like just take 1 point and you smash your head against the wall or something like that. He gets past Fawn as well as he's just going for the goal line. He doesn't stiff arm you; he just eludes you at this point.
Come on, guys, we can't let him get away.
If you have a
Tackle him.
gun, you stop him.
Yeah.
He's going right for the door. He's just chasing. I know where it is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Go ahead and roll athletics there.
Oh,
He gets past
man.
you too, and at this point, like he's pushing past through the mailroom. Chelsea, you're the last one. He sees the door and he's going right for it.
You're it.
I guess we're trying.
Go ahead.
I mean, if I was
Fail.
gonna say, if we have persuasion, that can be your strong suit as opposed
He
to just the same.
he just like just a boss, just like there's like moving, juking, spin move. He's like Barry Sanders, and then he bursts through the front doors of the McAllister building into the night air of New York,
And promptly gets hit by a car for not
and a
checking.
bus hits him as he. But yeah, you see him burst out, and then moments later, Chelsea, you're the last one to kind of go for him as he made it past you. You hear him just kind of scream out like this exultation of sort of, I don't know, joy, something, and then thump, 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 boom. You open the door and you see that he looks like he slipped and he fell down the stairs, and is like kind of knocked himself out on the front sidewalk.
Okay, I'm gonna check and make sure he's alive.
You get up there, he does seem to be alive. His heart is racing super fast, but he does, he does appear to be breathing just fine. He's got a big old bump on his forehead amongst several other problems, lesions, wounds, scratches here and there, rash. He reeks. Absolutely.
Paralyze him so he can't run away from us again.
I mean, I definitely want to like tie him. We need to take him inside. So, I'm gonna call out for
To
Agent
not do the
Vessel.
hog tying on the sidewalk of New York
Yeah,
City.
yeah. So I'm gonna call out for Agent Vessel to help me bring him in back into the building, into the apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, I can help bring him in, but he's a victim here. You get to keep him comfortable. You guys, we don't know what he's been through. He's insane right now.
Okay, yeah, but if he goes running around telling people about this, that's just more garbage we need to contain. So he needs to stay inside.
Right, I'll bring him inside, just not into the room.
Okay, you want to just leave him in the hallway? Sit him down in the hallway somewhere?
We need something to tie him up with.
He seems
about
to
the
be.
basement?
He's knocked himself out. Like he smacked his head against the ground. He knocks himself out. You probably have like smelling salts or something if you wanted to wake him back up. But yeah, his heart is just going a mile a minute.
Yeah,
The-
well, I'm just gonna let his body naturally calm back down.
The basement might be a little less distressing for him to wake up in than her apartment?
That's like, that's where people go to die.
Degrees.
You know, you wake up in somebody's tied up in somebody's basement. You know that's your last day alive. Like that's not a.
Why not just put him in a closet? Put him in a trunk. Just put him in the trunk.
Oh
It'll be fine.
no, we'll put him in the closet next to her room. You know, the supply closet. That mystery hands reached out and handed me a box. Oh God. Yeah, no. Does he have like a long sleeve shirt on or something?
He's got. It looks like, from what you can tell, looking at him, it looks like he has like old. They're stained and they smell terrible. But it looks like he's got some kind of polo work shirt that says Charter Cable Systems, and like cargo pants, with several pockets.
Okay.
You start fishing through them, and you do find a wallet that does, in fact, line up with the name he gave you, David Langford, along with some credit cards and some cash.
Oh God.
I totally
know.
agree. I totally agree with the humanity mechanics. He finally got out. You guys drag him right back. Just when I thought I was out, they dragged me back in. That's terrible impression. Okay, so what is everybody doing? You take a look at your watch. It's not even midnight yet.
So we know there's some weird anomaly upstairs, and Abigail's up there, from what we've heard. And we keep being told that it's different for everybody, so I don't know if we can go back that easily.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll have to try that out.
Not today. Definitely not.
The whole. No, I mean, I'm glad we went up there. Like, there's things a lot more that we know now that we didn't know before, but I really want to do that again for at least the next 24 hours.
So what are you guys doing?
I want to go back into the apartment and check our like catalog of like clues that we found to see if anything else is missing.
Just the symbol is missing. You spend a few minutes flipping back through. The only thing that seems to be missing is that kind of occult seal that you found the first night here.
I was going to ask the group if we should call... Shit, I don't know if I have his name written down. The guy that assigned us this mission, if we should call him and
Agent
see
Marcus.
if there's... Agent Marcus. If we should call him and have him take care of David Langford. That way he can get the care that he needs, but we don't have to worry about some crazy person, spouting nonsense at whomever. Because I figure we can just call him and ask for resources.
You've got your phone.
Right. Well, I'm just seeing if we're all in agreement on that, or if we want to keep
No.
him locked in this building.
I mean, I do think we should call him, but like.
All right. So Alvin will step outside to try and call Agent Marcus.
Okay. I think it's he gives you a cell number, not a cell number, a pager number. So it's more of a
okay.
you call his pager, and then he kind of gets back in touch with you, and he'll set up the meeting.
Right.
That's his preferred manner of business. But yeah, you go ahead and you do so, and we'll probably say relatively quickly, phone rings, and you hear on the phone, this is Marcus. What is it?
So we need some kind of area to treat somebody who's been trapped in the McAllister building for a very long time. They've been in there since March, from what they say. Situation here has kind of gotten out of hand, I'm sure you can understand. And the kind of care that we would...
I don't know nothing about... No. Careful here. I don't want to know the details. Okay.
That's fine. Where can we take him?
Like, is he like physically hurt? Does he need like medical attention?
Yeah, he's got some bruises, some cuts, but he's also just out of his mind, you know.
He hasn't eaten for months.
And he hasn't eaten for months.
Okay. Okay. All right. You keep an eye on him for now. I will. I'll see what I can do. I'll get back to you.
All right.
And he kind of hangs up. So, what's your plan?
We got out of there for the night, so I think it's calling it a day.
I'm assuming we're gonna have to sleep here in shifts.
Album looks at Fawn and just says, "Absolutely not." He says, "I am not staying in this building. Once Agent Marcus gets back, I'm not coming back in here for the night."
Maybe we can keep him in Album's car.
That's my bedroom you're talking about.
Just volunteer it.
I can take him to a motel. Somebody else will have to watch him with me, though.
Yeah.
I can park my van in the parking lot of your motel.
Nice.
I feel like it'd be better to have him here and keep an eye on him here. Right? There's far too much explaining that's going to have to happen if he wakes up and makes a scene somewhere else.
I'm just worried what's gonna happen to him after he like spends an extended period of time outside of the complex.
Well, that's why we're waiting on Marcus. We really just need to babysit him until we hear back from Marcus, which could be in the morning, possibly.
Do any of us know that Vessel threw up while outside of the building?
Unless he told somebody? No, I don't think so.
He told me.
Fawn would from that fortune cookie.
Oh, that's true.
So
The
yeah, they did
only
that,
reason I ask is because if he hasn't eaten in months and he stays outside of the building, he'll probably just die of malnutrition.
Derek, roll a luck check really quick.
Oh God.
I think there's a
Is that
spot
just
for a
a
character
D100?
sheet, but if not, it's
I'll
just a
just see.
D100 and 1 to 50 is a pass.
No, I failed
Oh,
then.
so
Okay.
close.
Yeah, it's like a good half an hour, and like Marcus still hasn't gotten back to you. You're starting to get the feeling that this could take longer than you want it to.
I hate to say it, but somebody needs to get rope. We need to make sure he doesn't try to escape again.
Then I'll go to my car and
Or duct tape or something.
I'm gonna.
get the rope I carry around.
All right.
He's
50
got
feet of rope in New
an
York City.
abduction.
Okay, you go to rope. I'm sure you have like zip ties and handcuffs and stuff as well that you could easily do. But yeah, you bind him. That's fine. After a little bit of time, like he does kind of come back like, what the? And he kind of looks up at you guys like, what the? Let me go. I didn't do anything. Let me go. Let me go.
I want to try and like calm him down. Like
Persuade.
persuade or human in.
Human int's more like reading a person.
Got it. Fail.
Yeah, he's no, just let me go. Let me go. And he's like screaming, help, help, they got me. And he's just screaming at the top of his lungs.
Guess.
Album's just gonna slap him across the face and say, pull yourself together, man."
Let me go, just please. I saw the sky. Just let me go. Why am I back in here? Why am I back in here?
David,
You're
you
not.
need to do what we're saying. We have to debrief you before you leave. You have been through a lot, and you can't just go running off. It's not safe for you.
I
I know it doesn't seem like it, but we have your best interests at heart, but you need to calm down.
You're not upstairs anymore. I know it feels like it's the same place, but it's not. Downstairs is different than upstairs.
Okay. What are your persuasion skills, the two of you?
Mine's 40.
Okay. I'll say that's, I mean, with what you guys just said, with slapping him, good, bad cop, then good cop, I guess. He'll say he quiets down, but he's got crazy eyes. His eyes are wide open and they're darting left and right, but at the very least, he's quieted down.
Okay. So we need to ask you some questions.
And then I can go, right?
And then we need to get you help because you've been up there for a while, right? You said March?
Yep, March. Yeah. Back pocket. And like, you go into the back pocket and you pull it out, and there's like a work order from March 20th, and he was ordered by, he was sent here by Charter Cable Systems, his company. And you can see the little logo up on the work order to shut off all the cable that no one was paying their bills.
Okay. Do you have any family?
Yeah, I got a brother.
Is your brother your emergency contact?
I think it's, oh God. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember.
What's his name?
Ian. Yeah.
That Chinese takeout that we had ordered for dinner, do we still have anything left, like an egg roll or anything we can offer him?
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll see. Hopefully that'll help, and it's not spoiled. It's not years old or months old.
Yeah, and you feed it, and he eats a lukewarm egg roll. Oh, it's so much. Oh, thank you. Boop. And then someone probably has water and feeds him some water.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you went upstairs, I need you to kind of walk me through what happened while you were up there.
I was going from apartment to apartment, and I'm just a box man. And there was one apartment where I was in it, and then it was like late, and then I got lost, and I was looking for her, and she wasn't there, and then the whole place was just suddenly, I couldn't find her. It just got the apartment, and I walked through.
She wasn't there. Who are you looking for?
The mean one. She was just rude the whole time, screaming and such, something about a lawyer.
And Fitz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went to go find her, and she's got a huge apartment. It's so much bigger than all the others. And then I couldn't find her, and then I couldn't find my way out. Couldn't find my way out, and then it was just doorways and doors, and there were people, there were voices, but I didn't go in. I didn't go near any of them. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to. Please just let me go.
So you didn't run into anybody while you were upstairs?
I hid.
Did you see anything?
No, I hid. I closed my eyes, and I heard things and voices and music and. But they were. Some of the people they're not right. They're not right. And then there's.
All right, just take some deep breaths. You're fine now.
Kind of breathes in and out, and he starts babbling, and then I saw, this, and then he's kind of just describing like some of the things that you guys have heard, like the sounds of like an ice cream truck or a nursery rhyme or ballroom music, the sounds of like a clock ticking or gears grinding, and sound of a dog or something thumping, shotguns ringing out in the distance and stuff. He opened a door once and fell down an elevator shaft when it wasn't an elevator shaft a second ago, and nearly killed himself. And you can tell he's got like a tear and a pretty horrible gash down one of his legs that he's kind of bandaged up with rips of his shirt. It was a prison. It was like a prison. I thought I was in hell. I thought I was in hell. I thought I died. I thought, just let me go. Just let me go. I won't say anything. I won't say anything. I won't say anything.
We just need to make sure you're okay.
I'm okay. I'm much better now. Just let me go.
Right, David, but it's not that simple. You need to really take some time to take this in. Like, we're gonna have somebody come and they're gonna help you.
I will take all the time. I will take all the time. I will take all the time. I will not
Right,
talk
but-
to who you don't want me to talk to, and I will talk to who you want me to talk to. I don't
We
want
just
to
want
be
a
in this
medical
building
professional.
anymore. I just don't
Yeah, we need to get you medically cleared
want
first.
to be in this building anymore. Please let me out of the building. Please.
We'll get
David,
there.
if you
We'll get
continue to get loud, we're gonna have to gag you, and we don't want to do that.
Why don't
Just have to trust that we're gonna get you cleared with a medical professional so that we know you're not in any mortal danger, and then we'll let you go on your way.
And he just starts. A dark look kind of overtakes him. He just sort of like clams up a bit and just looks at you guys. He's like, "You're as bad as them. You're
What
you're part
about-
of them. You're part of this. You're just here to keep me here. That's what it is. Just like all the other places. You're just here to keep me here."
The only difference is that hallways don't change here. At least where you're at makes sense.
I was out, and you brought me back in. I was out. You brought me back in. Why did you bring me back in? And he just starts panicking and freaking out again at that point.
if you
No, he's gone. He's
I'm gonna bop him
screaming.
upside the head.
He's
Oh, no.
tossing back and forth.
Like from behind. Like I'm just gonna like look like I'm doing something else in the apartment, and I'm just gonna.
You're gonna hit him. You're just gonna like, just like that.
knock him out?
Yeah. Just gonna
Archaeologist?
just
Okay.
knock him back out again.
Okay.
Because like she's
Unarmed
not really
combat?
doing too good either, and this is just.
Are
not,
you good at this? What's
doing
your
well
what's
for
your
her.
skills? What's your physical combat skills there? If this was
I'm
like,
looking at-
you know,
is that an actual?
the hostage guy, I would be okay with it. But like, yeah, I think there's an unarmed combat. What's your unarmed combat? 40. No, you're good.
40.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Why is an You're like Indiana Jones. That's what it is. You just whack him in the temple, and he just collapses.
I wanted to get more information out of him, but I'm
Shoot the witness.
not. Been a bad night. He was getting on my last nerve.
Lukewarm egg roll is my uncle. There's some good lines in chat tonight. Okay. I think you guys have kind of gotten what you're gonna get out of him, and we'll say that your little conversation probably lasted. It's hit midnight at this point.
Okay.
So
Uh,
you all are. I would also say are exhausted.
Yeah,
Not like
Album's just
mechanically
gonna-
exhausted, but very very tired.
Album's just gonna look at the group, look at his phone, and be like, "I haven't gotten a call back." And he's just gonna throw the phone on the ground and pull his keys out of his pocket and be like, "I'm going to my car, and I'm getting out of this building." And he's just gonna walk out of the apartment.
Okay. Must be nice to be able to leave the apartment building.
He's unconscious.
do we want to take him with us, or do we want to stay here?
Can stay in the building and just watch him.
Okay.
I really need to sleep. Can you take first watch, Vessel?
That's fine.
Where are you guys sleeping?
On the floor.
In my van.
Okay, you're in the van. Got it. Where in the apartment building are the three of you sleeping?
I guess in Abigail's apartment.
Okay.
Just like the main room.
Okay. Okay. And I'm sorry, I was scrolling for something. Where are you putting David?
In the same room as we are.
Okay, so you guys brought him back into Abigail's room. Okay. So you go out into the alleyway.
Wakes up He
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
see,
go
like,
ahead.
all the crazy.
Say it again?
We'll blindfold him so when he wakes up, he doesn't see all the crazy stuff.
So he's blindfolded and gagged.
I like how Log said
It's
that as
for
if
his
it was a nice
protection.
thing to do. Yeah, this is yeah.
He's
I'm
gonna
doing
be
this
so much
for you.
happier when he wakes up.
It's gonna be.
There's no sensory overload when your senses are covered.
Why
We'll
don't you
deafen
waterboard
you.
him too, just to wash his face a little? You know. Okay. I'll. Yeah, definitely roll for his sand. Jeez. Oh God.
I need
I'll.
to do a sanity test for trying to sleep.
You go out into the alley where you have your van parked down the block. You go inside, and you collapse, and you fall asleep in your waterbed or whatever the hell you got back there. The three of you that are inside, please go ahead and make sanity rolls.
I don't sleep, actually.
Okay.
That sanity roll was from my sleep disorder. I don't actually sleep.
Okay.
I get no willpower for the next
Successful.
24 hours.
Okay. So.
Do I need to roll it again?
Yes, actually. Well, no, actually, no. You're okay. You just get the. You wouldn't. It wouldn't apply.
Do we restore anything when we sleep? Out of curiosity.
Yeah. It's a. I think it's a D6 of willpower. Is that right? Melissa, you looked at these rules, so I didn't have to. What were the
What
rules?
if we
Give me a
haven't
second,
lost
I'll look
any
it up.
willpower?
Then you're fine.
Okay.
You don't gotta worry about anything.
What if we're
I
perfectly
think it's a
sane?
D6. I want to say it's a
Must
D6.
be nice.
A D6.
I'm
willpower.
not perfectly sane, thank you.
Okay. So, all right. Couple things. So, while the two of them are sleeping and David Langford is blindfolded, bound, gagged, and knocked out inside of a hoarder crazy apartment inside the building that he's been trapped in for several months. Just want to make sure I summarize all of that. You are unable to sleep there, Agent Fawn, tossing, turning a bit. Periodically, you hear the sound of jazz music waft down from the third floor, the sounds of boisterous laughing and merriment. You smell cigar smoke. You smell what sound, like some, sweet, almost like cookies baking, something like that. At a certain point, as you're in the room, you start to feel like this cold wash of water over you. Just feel a sudden wave of coldness. And when you kind of look, you can see that your compatriots are sleeping. You can see Langford's out. But as you're staring at the material on the walls, you swear it moved. You just swear it just moved on its own accord. That whole array of stuff on the walls just sort of like wait a second, that was over there, and then this was over here, and then that was over there, and you spend about 6-7 hours just trying to map out. You get this obsessiveness as you start to realize, okay, no. If I go over there, you try to track where everything is just to make sure. Then you close your eyes, count to 10, open them back up, see if things shifted, and things shifted. You're like, no, they totally shifted. And when morning comes, when the light finally comes in the windows, and when your fellow agents open their eyes, you, Chelsea and Vessel, see Fawn, whose hair is frizzed, who is manically moving from section to section on the wall, trying to move things, ripping stuff and breaking stuff off, not removing it properly. You could see that she's sort of messed around a bit with the cataloging, but the cataloging is just sort of nonsense at a certain point. And you see that she has drawn on one of the binder pages some sort of image. I need the two of you to make sanity tests.
Failed.
You take 1
Yes.
point. You take 1 point of sanity damage there, Vessel. Chelsea, you quickly notice that she didn't get sleep. She's out of it. She's not. Something's wrong. Like, she's just flipping out. Like, she's talking and she's just not doing well whatsoever. So you can handle that while I tell Lon what he's
Vessel-
won.
Vessel, grab David. We need to get him in your car. We need to get Fawn out of here.
You deal with Fawn. She's freaking me out a bit.
And I'm gonna just like kind of approach Fawn and just like whatever she has in her hands, I'm gonna grab it out and then grab her wrists and just be like, Fawn, hey, let's go back to the hotel room. A shower sounds really great right now.
But you slept.
Nope.
You didn't see it. It was moving. Like it's not where.
Yeah, you had a real stressful 24 hours. So maybe sleeping in the creepy room with stuff on the walls was a really bad idea. So let's...
But it's good because if we hadn't been here, I wouldn't have seen it. Mm-hmm.
True, but let's just regroup. Let's get out of here. We've got stuff we have to research at the library, remember?
Sure.
Yeah, so let's go.
So much stuff to look up.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Out in the alleyway, you wake up. You feel rested. Album. You feel better. And as you're waking up, let me do a quick roll. Okay. And doing whatever you do in the morning inside your van to, I don't know, brush your teeth or whatever, if you have a coffee maker.
I play with my pet tarantula a little bit.
Your crappy Motorola phone. Well, I mean, crappy for now, but 995 was sweet. You open it up.
This is the prime,
It starts, it rings. And when you answer it, it's Agent Marcus, and all he does is give you an address. And that's it.
Okay. I jot it down in my notebook.
And then he immediately clicks, doesn't even wait for questions.
Yeah. Okay. So Album will kind of put on a change of clothes, but specifically, his shirt is going to be on backwards. He's going to be wearing the wrong kind of pants for the weather that we have, and his shoes are 2 different shoes.
Okay, I like
That's
it.
great.
And he has no understanding of this at all.
Okay. When the three of you inspect David Langford, he is conscious. He seems to have kind of tried to chew his tongue a bit, and he's got blood all over his mouth. Where you've bound him, his wrists have been worn and there's blood, and you can tell that he is clearly he spent some time during the night trying to get out of these. It doesn't seem that Fawn noticed, but he seems to be he's almost in a state of catatonia at this point.
When we're outside, I'm gonna take off his blindfold.
Okay.
Album will be at the door kind of as the group makes its way outside.
His eyes kind of blink a bit in water from the sunlight, but he still doesn't respond. He's just sort of if you were to let go of him, he would probably collapse, and so you're able to carry him.
Is it cool if we just toss him in the back of your van? Can we all pile in
Yeah.
there?
So yeah, Album's gonna kind of as you all come out of the building, and you notice as Album is walking up to the building, he is intricately sketching in his notebook what he sees around him, and then kind of making little Pac-Man dots that probably look like where his position is in relation to the environment. And then he'll look up at everybody, look at look at David, and then say, I have an address. We need to go.
Say no more. Let's get going.
And yeah, they can all pile in the van wagon house thing.
Okay. The address he gave you is about 20 minutes away. Still in Queens. There's a bit of traffic, morning traffic, obviously, but you get there, and it's kind of a nondescript office. It looks like there's a series of like offices within a small tenement building of some kind. And you take a look at the number. You lead Langford in. Do you do anything to try to obscure? Because there's people on the street, but not that many. Like you passed by a few streets, and they were pretty heavily occupied. But here there's a little bit deader of an area. Do you do anything else in particular?
If anyone kind of like gawks at us, or I guess just like gawks, I'll just hold up like the FBI badge, and I feel like that would be enough of like a mind.
Do you have like a jacket we could like toss over him or something, like over his shoulders?
This is. I feel like my van is my house, so I feel like I would have something we could put around him.
Okay. Yeah. So you grab a.
Just don't mention that I'm not dressed properly.
Oh yeah, I haven't said anything.
Okay. So you lead him inside the building. You go to the specific number, and and again you see a series of like offices here and there, and you go to the door you go to has no specific name. Like there's no name on it. It's just the number of the address. You open the door. You go inside, and it looks like a very sparse waiting room of like a dentist. There is a mirror. There's not a mirror. There's a window, and there's nobody sitting behind in the kind of the sort of the secretary, administrative assistant kind of area. There's a handful of chairs. There's no one else in here. There's a small bell sitting on top of the counter right underneath the window, and then there is a door to the left of the window that seems to move into kind of a recessed back section.
I'll tap the bell.
Okay. You tap the bell. About 10 seconds later, the door opens up, and you see a fairly large man, probably about 6'4", dressed in kind of dark clothes, like black pants, black shirt, long sleeve shirt. No ID. He steps out of the door, and he looks at the four of you. Then he looks at Langford, and you've got like the jacket over top of him. He reaches out and kind of just grabs him by the arm, and just starts to pull him back into the room behind the door. And with nobody doing anything, he takes him back there.
Vaughn will grab
follow?
Album's jacket off of him.
Okay, you grab. If you start to follow, he turns around and looks at you really quick, and he kind of gives you like this quizzical look on his face, like he doesn't say anything, but it's got the facial expression of "What the fuck are you doing?"
Under Album.
Album will just kind of point to like Fawn and himself, and then kind of look quizzically back, like, and I'm sure the guy sees that he's not dressed very well, so he'll give him the same quizzical look back after indicating to himself and Fawn.
Get the fuck out of here. You do your job, I do mine. And then he turns around and he starts moving with David and pulling the door closed behind him.
Album's just gonna look back at everybody and then like say, "Did we just whack that guy?"
Oh God.
Good.
Probably best not to ask many questions.
He didn't look like a doctor.
It's certainly possible. You don't know for sure what they're going to do with him, but I mean, that definitely is a possibility. Who knows?
I mean, we do know that we don't want any open ends.
And technically, you guys are
So we
supposed to
shoot
take
him?
care of-
Yeah. Well, you spent time upstairs. I spent time upstairs. He's not upstairs forever anymore, and there's a comfort in that. And Fawn's been sort of manic and just kind of wants to get out of the area. She's had a bad
Okay.
night.
You
What's
leave.
with your getup? You look like a clown on my 8th birthday.
Was that directed at Album?
Yeah.
He's gonna kind of look down, and then look at Vessel and say like, "What are you talking about? This is what I always wear." And just walk out of the room.
Okay.
And he's still like sketching his like surroundings and kind of drawing dotted lines.
Is that what
Sir-
you always wear? Like to
No. No. He's just like not recognizing what you're pointing out. He thinks he looks fine.
Nice.
All right, so you guys get back out into the van. What next, guys? It's 9 o'clock in the morning, we'll say, on a Saturday. It's New York.
Can we go to the library?
The world is your oyster. If you like. New York Public Library? Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Album just doesn't even say anything. He just starts the car and starts driving in the direction of it.
sure. You can go to New York Public Library. Yeah. You drive
What
over.
could go wrong?
No problem. No problem. Okay.
He also throws a hairbrush to Fawn as they're driving around.
And she just sort of looks at it like, this wasn't in the apartment. What?
No,
What?
you look like it looks like a rat was crawling around in your head.
You
Brush your hair, Fawn. We're going into a public library.
Well, maybe flip your shirt around. We're going into a public library.
And Album will look down, and I kind of look behind him and reach and kind of feel.
So we attempt to make ourselves look presentable.
Okay. Sure. So the four of you head to the New York Public Library. None of you look good. None of you have showered. One of you have changed your clothes, but the one person who changed his clothes, we know how that fared. But you arrive at the New York City Public Library. No one really pays you too much mind because it's New York and no one really gives a shit. What are we doing here?
Yes, Chelsea.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
that's what Album's gonna turn. Like he's gonna put his arm on the steering wheel and turn and be like, "Why the fuck are we here?"
Okay, we need to. I guess I'm going through my notes and I'm assigning y'all homework. Someone needs to research the building. Oh God, I can't find what it used to be called.
Oh, does Chelsea kind of wonder that out loud?
Yeah, like as
Because-
you guys are all just like staring at me, like, Mom, what are we doing?
Well, if she mentions like I don't know what the building was before that, Album will say like, "Well, you're talking about when Rourke called it the Brothel Bin Hotel."
Yes, you can research that, please.
No.
What do you want to research?
I have to make a phone call.
Okay, who you calling? What's happening?
I can't tell you.
Okay, that's bizarre. Fawn, if you can research the hotel, that would be awesome. What else?
She
Do
hasn't
you
slept
guys
for 24 hours. So yeah.
take Vessel if you and Fawn? And then, have you guys thought of anything else that we need to research?
That symbol that Album was obsessed with for a little bit, he'll kind of be like, "Hey, Ghost Whisperer, what kind of books should I read to learn more about that symbol?"
Good question. We'll figure that out.
The symbol that he showed you, you remember as it just being nonsense. It's nothing. Like you would dismiss it as no. This is what Chelsea would think. Like Chelsea, it's nothing. It's just something, whatever. Like he was just wandering around, kind of losing his mind a bit.
Okay. So Album will, I guess, not have a lot of confidence in that then, and then just kind of half-ass mention like, "Well, we heard a lot of people's names. We could look through the yellow pages or something, or some sort of like
Missing people report.
Yeah.
Maybe
we
missing
need-
people, just maybe people who have lived in the city, just to see if they existed and at what time period.
We should look into Castaigne. Because Fawn had those pieces that were stamped for 1435.
Okay, I'm getting a
Um,
lot of different things. There's
We're just
only four
thinking.
of you, and yeah, so at some point I'm going to need kind of specifics here. What are you looking for, and
The
where are
hotel.
you looking for it?
Yeah, definitely building. So anything that would be accessible that has to do with either building layouts or public records around that address, buildings at that address.
If you're looking for public records, you would want to go to a public records office, city hall, that type of thing, not to a New York Public Library, which is where we're at. So
Okay.
that's something you can do, but it would mean somebody
In the
splitting
library.
off and heading out.
Yeah.
Could I look? Okay, back issues of architectural, trying to get more information about the architect
Okay.
guy. There should
I
be
want-
back issues of architecture stuff.
I was thinking in the library we would look more for like old newspapers for anything regarding the hotel name. Like, were there any large events that happened there? Like, because we had that one thing with like the fire, the painting or whatever. See if it caught on fire at all. Anything else like that.
Yeah, then I'll want to look up like the names we got while we were in there.
Okay. Some of this is going to take a while, so like you gotta tell me. So I'm gonna want. This is what I want. Give me a specific thing you're looking for, where you're looking for it, and then we'll kind of go from there. So like when I say where, I mean, are you staying at the library? Are you going to City Hall, Public Records Office? So what are you looking for, like specific, and where are you doing it? So Long, you mentioned a name. Is there a specific name that you would be interested in?
You know David since we found him in there.
Okay.
Or what was his name? His name's
Cable
David.
guy.
David Langford, if he was, yeah, so in where would you want to try to go and get information about David Langford? You have his name, you have his
Libraries.
brother.
Probably like public records.
Okay. You also have the name of his company
Mm-hmm.
as well. And don't forget, you guys are also FBI agents, so you have probably access to police departments and stuff like that too.
Yeah, you could go to the police department and see if there's missing persons or something. Like if a report was made.
The first thing Album's gonna do is once everybody like wanders off into the library or whatever, he's gonna call his brother and see if his brother made any progress with the epoxy he kind of told him about and gave him a sample of. And then after that, he specifically wants to look into that man he saw on the medical table, Vega. I guess that might be public records or I don't know what would make the most sense for that. But wants to try and figure that out.
Okay. So you're trying to identify a person named Vega in New York City.
In the Brothel Bin Hotel, or
Okay.
I guess in some sort of medical capacity because he was on a medical table. So maybe like big news stories or something like that.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot to do here. So long as you decide on what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go.
There's also that napkin with the drawing on it of the like machine thing. if
There's
anyone
so
wants that.
many things.
Yeah, there's too many things.
I need one thing from everybody at a time because this does take time. So starting with Long. Long, what do you want to do first?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look into this David guy,
Okay.
his company.
You're going to go to his
Right.
company. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Ashley, what are you doing?
I'm gonna stay at the library and use the microfiche to view old newspapers.
On what topic?
The Broadlebin Hotel.
Okay. All right. And then Derek, you're going to call your brother.
Yeah, get the like I guess where the epoxy comes from, what it's usually used for, stuff like that. Just all the details.
Gotcha. And then Melissa.
Looking through back issues of architectural magazines for information about Asa Garibaldi.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. So, we'll do Derek chooses the easiest one because it doesn't actually require a roll of any kind. So yeah, you manage, after playing a little phone tag with your brother all morning, you do manage to eventually get on the phone with him. What's your human int?
It is terrible. It is a 10.
Go ahead and roll human int.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, it's a fail.
Okay.
Don't forget to check the box though.
Yeah, check the
Oh,
box.
good point.
Yep. Okay. You get on the phone, and your brother is he seems a little agitated. He's just like, this takes time. Like, okay. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so far, it's resin. It's Novolac resin. It's pretty standard stuff. Everything's fine. There's a bunch of different companies that make it. Nothing strange. It's phenol. It reacts with methanol, and yeah. It's like like formaldehyde and such. Again, all of it's pretty common. Yeah. There's why am I looking into this? It's you could probably just buy this at Home Depot. What's the problem?
It's all over there's a bunch of stuff stuck to a wall with it. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand who would do this.
Yeah, well, I mean,
what is this stuff normally used for?
Adhesives and things, yeah, and protection of other items. It's an epoxy, man. I don't gotta tell you what an epoxy's for.
Yeah, but you didn't see the room that I saw. There's all kinds of nonsensical stuff plastered to walls, ceilings, and floors. Like, you can't step on anything without it being there. I wasn't sure.
What do you mean nonsensical stuff? What are we talking about?
Well, if I understood what it was, I could explain it to you, couldn't I?
Well, I mean, you said there's stuff on the walls beneath the epoxy. So why don't you just tell me what this stuff is?
I don't know what it is. There's newspaper clippings. There's broken garbage. There's baseballs, like all kinds of shit, man. I don't know.
We'll get me some of it. I mean, like, I have data points. I need data points. I need more data points. I only got the one data point. I need more data points to go on. Like right now,
Yeah,
it's just basic epoxy. Just give me more. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. If I can take something away from a crime scene and give it to you, I will do that. But you kind of have to understand.
Crime scene. What are you doing at a crime scene? You work for NASA.
I told you that I'm a consultant for the FBI on this. I don't understand it any more than you do.
Why? Because it's aliens? You think it's aliens?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen any aliens so far. Yeah, it's aliens.
It's aliens?
No, I don't know. I'm telling you. That's why I don't understand what's going on. They just said it was weird as shit and that they needed somebody who kind of studies things outside of normal. So looking at space is outside of normal.
Okay. Well, I'll get you. I'll dig it in. I'll dig in some more. But again, it's just plain epoxy. But I'll look into some more. But give me more of those things, and maybe there's more. Maybe there's more to know. Okay.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks on the phone. Bye. All right. Okay. So that's that. And again, that doesn't take all day. That probably takes just your kind of back and forth. You call him, he calls you, you call him, he calls you, and eventually you get each other. So you're headed to Charter Cable Systems agent vessel. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a Saturday, so it's a little harder to get folks, but there's people in there's a couple nearby offices and such. And it's kind of a skeleton crew. There's not as many people there, but you're able to track down kind of a basic, a basic office. Go ahead and I'll tell you what. Roll. What's your bureaucracy at?
10.
Okay. How about just roll me then a. Roll me. Just roll me like int times 5.
Int times 5.
So just go to your
my
stats and your physical tab and click on the int, and it'll roll it for you. Okay.
Success.
All right. It takes a little doing because the person who's at the counter when you go there, it's just some like part-time worker, and you start flashing around an FBI badge. You start asking questions. They're like, "This is way above my pay grade." You ask to get a manager, but they're like, "There's no, no one. It's Saturday and stuff like that." But eventually, you're able to talk to the right person. You go to the right, you could probably go to about 2 different places, and you're able to finally get a supervisor, who kind of comes into the office after you've been sitting around waiting for probably a good hour and a half. Looks like they've got like on khaki pants and a collared shirt, like they've been out golfing, and got a little bit of a sun on them, and they don't see you when they first walk in, and they look at like the part-time worker and are like, "What the hell are you calling me?" And I was beating my handicap. And he looks over and he sees you. "Oh, officer, right, yeah, you is something right, yeah, is something I can do for you?"
Yeah, I just need any information you can give me on this guy here, David.
David.
Any,
You have a
any
last
records
name
you
for
have?
that?
I give him the last name.
You son of a bitch.
Bird.
Well played, sir. Well played. Okay. Where? I have too many notes. Okay. So he kind of takes you back into into an office in the back, away from the front floor, and pretty kind of generic looking offices. He sits you down and gets on some computer with a big old CRT type monitor and starts clickety typing away and stuff, pulling things up. And he's like, "Oh, God, we're supposed to get this Windows 95 thing. Have you heard anything about this? Is it any good?" Anyway, so yeah. David Langford. Oh yeah. He we let him go a couple months back after he just no-showed. He just no show. Looks to I guess it's back in March. His last work order was let's see, this is 20th of March. Looks like it's McAllister Building, Queens. Yeah, that was the last time. And we haven't heard from him since. He never showed up the next day. We had other work calls for him. Looks like he got a couple complaints from the supervisor. And yeah.
Complaints? Who were the complaints about?
Well, no, it's the complaints. He was supposed to be at work on the 21st, and then he wasn't there, and he was supposed to be again on the 22nd. He wasn't there, and at a certain point, it's just you get too many complaints, you just fired. It's just how it works. I mean, he was fine. Looks like he's got brother. I got brother contact info if you want that.
Yeah, let's get that down.
Okay, I can get it. Yeah, sure, no problem. He's in New York. Yeah, he's in New York. No problem. And no, he's divorced. Never mind. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. That's all I got. Actually, wait a second. I do remember something else. 1 second. And he's like starts going through his like his drawers, but someone came by. Yeah. And he picks out a card and he hands it over to you, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a lawyer for one of his wives. They think he skipped town, he's got alimony and such, and he just wasn't, he was skipped town or something, and so they were looking for him, and if he turned up, we were supposed to call, so I don't know. He never turned up, so."
Right. Thanks. I can use this.
Yeah. No problem. Officer, agent.
Vessel.
What do they call FBI? Is it agent? Special agent?
Yeah, agents. We
Just
have special
agent.
agents, too. Yeah.
How do you become a special agent?
Oh, you just specialize in some sort of field, and you
Yeah.
recognize you, and you're special.
Okay. What's your field?
I work in hostage rescue.
Oh, wait. Is he a hostage for something?
No, not he's not a hostage.
Does he have hostages?
No, it's confidential, but he's fine.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, confidential. Sure. I get it. Yeah. No problem. And and he lets you go. Okay. Ashley, you said you wanted to look up Rottlebin stuff.
Hmm?
Go ahead. And you're at the public library. And you're just looking through like microfiche for any information about a hotel named the Brottlebin.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you need to roll for me. Okay. Roll an int times 5. Or history if you have it.
My history is 60.
Still gotta roll it.
Okay. Success.
Okay. You spend the better part of 6 or 7 hours here in the back. You befriend a very lovely librarian who is very big glasses and is very skeptical of the internet and doesn't think that, I mean, the internet, who wants to read from a screen all day, you know? You definitely want to, people are going to want books. Like, no one wants to, no, this is just a fad, whatever this is. Like, nothing's ever going to happen to libraries. And they help you.
Mm-hmm.
You are abundantly certain by the end of that about 6-hour search, there is no evidence of a Hotel Brottlebin in New York.
Okay.
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 And Melissa, what were you doing? I know that was anticlimactic, so
I know. It feels like time wasted. Okay.
sorry. No, but I mean that. You are certain that there are no records at all, public records of any kind, or New York Library, old newspaper articles about a Hotel Brottlebin
In New York.
in New York. You go through the Post, you go through the Times. Those are the only 2 New York newspapers I know, but you look through the Gazette. It might be a Gazette. Who knows? What about you, Melissa? You were looking for architectural magazines about Darabandi. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
You can roll history, anthropology, or intelligence.
History is an 80, so I will go history.
Okay.
And succeed.
Okay. Right. Double check something really quick. All right. So, as you start digging through a variety of architectural magazines and books and basically anything, you find a book actually called Architecture, Genius, and Mental Illness.
Okay.
And it describes a person by the name of Asia Darabandi, and how apparently he was a fairly local celebrity in Chicago. And he was known for like building like thought houses, is what they were called. And the press called him like the Picasso of architecture, having that sort of helped you a bit. And the reason it's kind of showing up here is that apparently he was hired by a New York millionaire by the name of Henry Lundeen to build a building in the city. And for the longest time, it looks like originally he built Henry Lundeen like a home, like a house, and but apparently at some point, you'd have to do a little bit more research, but at some point the Lundeen house, it kind of changed ownership, changed names, and it became the McAllister building. And As you dig in a little bit further, you find. Let's see what else. No, you wouldn't have that. Okay. You find a book called A Darkness at the Corners that dives into Darabandi. It's not like a full bibliography of him, but it kind of goes into some details. He was born in 1886 in Paris. His mother was named Miriam. No father listed. Came to America in 6th of June, 1887. They arrived in New York, settled in Chicago. Let's see. Apparently, you got that same bit about like the thought houses and stuff like that. He completed a place called the Bella Fleur House in the Oak Park neighborhood of Chicago, one of his thought buildings that he designed for a wealthy family called the Fitzroys. Also mentions the New York millionaire hiring him. You start digging a little further. Nope. Yeah, that's basically all you get. Apparently, there was some kind of fallout between his mother and his aunt. His aunt kind of tried to care for him for a bit, but she was a bad influence and was eventually kind of kicked out by the mother. Henry Lundeen became kind of like not a guardian, but sort of a patron in a way. And this takes a very long time because these are big old thick books. You're going through architecture magazines and you don't really find anything there specifically. A periodic reference to him every now and then. But there is kind of an abrupt halt to any real mention of him. Like some of these books that are being published. You do learn that apparently he just kind of fell off the map at some point.
So I don't have any information about like when he passed or anything like that.
He was declared dead. Yeah, a second. Sorry, I'm going. There's like so much I'm digging through here. One moment.
The next thing I'm gonna look up. Thought houses.
Thought houses. Houses where thoughts get to live.
There's like a memory thing that's kind of like thought house or thought something that's like a memory device or something.
Isn't this a thought palace?
Palace, that's it.
Yeah, or memory palace, something like that.
Yeah, that's the.
Sorry, I completely lost the page number I was on. Found it. Let's see. Yeah, that's all you really get just looking through some of these things.
Okay. That's a lot.
And again, that takes most of the day.
Yeah.
So we'll switch back then to Vessel. Vessel, what are you doing with the information that you got from the charter cable company guy?
All right, he gave me like a lawyer's number.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother's contact.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna try and get in contact with his brother first, see what he thinks.
You got an address, you got a number. Do you want to call? Do you want to go? It's in the city.
Yeah, it's nearby. I'll just take a walk there.
Okay.
Or a cab.
So you head over early afternoon, knock on an apartment door. You see a man who looks, you can see the resemblance, kind of a cleaner cut, older, thinner-looking version of David answer the door, and he kind of looks up and he's, "Can I help you?"
Hey, I'm Agent Vessel with the FBI here. It's about your brother.
My brother? Did you find him?
That's what we're looking into. It's okay if I ask you some questions about him.
It's about fucking time. I filed the fucking report like 3 months ago, and I got nothing. Nothing from you fucking pig. No, I'm sorry. I know it's a derogatory. That's the wrong. I'm sorry. I filed that fucking police report, and all they fucking told me, no, he escaped. He ran away. He did. Yeah. If he fucking ran away from his wives, he would have fucking told me. He would have told me. I'm his brother. Okay. Something happened to him.
Yeah, so I'm here to ask you about anything you know about him. You said wives. He has multiple then.
Well, not at the same time. That's against the law. He's got 2 ex-wives. Yeah, shaking him down for alimony, this and that. He paid when he could. He's a cable guy. He doesn't make that. Well, he was a cable guy. He can't make that much money.
Right. You said he escaped town. That's what the cops were saying?
Yeah. Because he's got bad. He owes his wives. They're hitting him up for money. He can't pay them both. He doesn't have enough. Okay, he doesn't have enough. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely upset. And I said, and then they talked to me, and they're like, "Oh, do you know your brother is?" And like, no, I went to you, and I told you he was missing, and I want to know where he's at. Why are you freaking asking me? But it's good. If you're officially looking in, you got a lead or something. You got a lead. You clues, something. You're the fucking FBI.
Right. Yeah, we're into it.
Right? You are, right? Oh, yeah. Can I see your badge? Yeah. Just to be sure. You don't seem sure.
Yeah, I showed the official stuff, but no, we might have a lead. He should be okay. He hasn't run away like everyone's been saying.
So he should be okay, but he hasn't fucking run away. What the hell does that mean, man?
It means,
officer, whatever.
I don't think I'm getting what I want out of this.
Is this your fucking first day? Is this like your first case? This is the first time you've ever done this before. Do you know where my brother is?
No.
This is ridiculous. Remember, these aren't people. They're New Yorkers, so they're a different kind of people. You don't know where he is. Okay. Did someone come forward? Haven't seen him.
We were looking to the building that he was ordered to fix. But I'm just here for your word. What's the last thing he told you?
The last thing he told me is that, we were talking about going to the Mets game. We're making plans, opening day. Gonna go see the Mets. We're feeling good. This is the year, and then all of a sudden, nothing from him. Nothing.
Yeah.
We're making plans. We're making plans.
Well, it's been 3 months, so I just want to get a little check on what everyone thought about him.
What I think about him, he's a son of a bitch, but he's my brother, so...
Isn't that like a self-insult?
He's insulting his mom, I guess. Listen. Just be straight with me. Is he okay? Do you know where he is? Tell him to call me. If you know where he is, just fucking tell him to call me. I'm worried. Okay? Listen, he might ghost his wives, but he's not gonna ghost his brother. Okay? He doesn't ghost me. I'm worried. He's probably got some parking tickets or something or whatever, and he was a bad husband, whatever. But He's my brother, man.
Yeah, I get you. I have feelings myself. So
So
it
you
turns
know.
out he's well. Make sure he tells you.
You got nothing. You're just fucking here wasting my fucking Saturday. You got nothing. And he just slams the door in your face at that point. Okay. Album. You got some time left. What do you want to do today? The rest of the day.
Yeah, since I probably just took that phone call outside of the library, I think I'm gonna go in and do some. I might just ask some people about the drawing on the napkin and try and play it off as like I got into like a discussion with some person at a bar last night and they drew this out for me, but I can't read the language and I don't know what the hell this contraption is. I feel like that's
Okay.
innocent enough to show someone that kind of thing.
Okay. Roll a luck test. Okay.
17.
Look at you. Passing luck tests and everything. So yeah, you go to a couple of the different librarians, like a foreign language area or whatever. You start asking around, like, what is this? Do you know what this is? You know what this is, etc., etc. And eventually, it's like, oh yeah, it's Portuguese.
And then I say, do you know what the words on this mean by any chance?
Yeah. Once Jeff can open up that, because it's being laggy. Sorry.
That's fine. Album is gonna kind of like try to cover up the fact that he's wearing the wrong kind of pants for the weather and make sure they can't see his shoes. And
I love this pants thing. Okay, one of them, is the lion. So there's Liao. And the other is the scribe, and that's Escriba.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what these things are. Fun little machines like Rube Goldberg machines or something. But yeah, that says lion. That says scribe.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there anybody who happens to be here who's an expert in engineering that might be able to work out what this contraption does?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we do have craft books, how to, if you want to learn on your own. But
Sure. Which section is that at?
yeah, they'll take you over. You'll spend some time doing some additional research, but you did actually I think you did actually pass your roll, and what that taught you passed your role when you first found these in terms of like assessing like the mechanics of it, and you have no idea what they're like. They're it's just nonsense. It just doesn't make sense, like the way the diagrams are laid out. Like, this doesn't even work. Why would this even be here? Like, this isn't like a case of it being kind of beyond your like engineering ability. It's this schematic doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And so you spend a little time. I won't say you waste the rest of the day doing this, but you spend a little time kind of going through a few things, just seeing if there's anything else that you can learn about it. And like, you're just like, no, this is just freaking. I don't even know what this is. This is just absolute nonsense.
Okay.
There's just, you can't quite pinpoint exactly what's up with these things. Like, they're a little bit unclear.
Yeah.
Then Fawn and Chelsea. So Chelsea, let's go back to you. Chelsea, you spent some time, you couldn't find anything about the Hotel Broadwin. Complete dead end going through the books in the public library. What do you want to do?
Can I Google it?
Google didn't exist in 1995.
Jeeves.
It technically did. It
Yeah.
just wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't like an internet search, but you could do
Or like search like old message boards. I don't know.
You could probably gain some internet access as well. Do you have a computer science? What's your computer science skill at?
My computer science is 70.
Yeah, it's roll that.
Success.
Okay. And so you're just getting on the old interwebs, or the 1995 interwebs. And, I mean, you spend the rest of the day hitting as much as you can. Now, the internet in 1995 was not the internet it is now, so it takes longer. There's not as much information up there as you think there is, etc. But even still, like, you cannot find anything anywhere about Hotel Broadway.
Okay.
Like, there's no information about it in New York.
I think like once I got on the computer, I would instead like try and start with Art Life and like see if I can backtrack like the building itself.
Okay. All right. So if you want to do research into the building of the McAllister, that's a different thing. So you do know that Art Life is the ownership group.
Yeah.
But you would also probably know that if you were really trying to dig into like the business of Art Life, public library is probably not the best place for it. I'll say that you do at the very least know that they are a company, that they purchased it. They support professional artists around the city, other places as well. But if you want to dig into like the history of the ownership of the building, that's more of a public records pull. That's not a public library type of thing.
Okay.
And you also did have a Cynthia LaChance. The name Cynthia LaChance as well was a name that you were given. Fawn.
Yes. My next thing was going to be thought house. Like what are thought houses? What does that mean?
You already got, I would say you would have gotten that from the books, that they were just sort of, the way it was just sort of summarized is just sort of like experimental houses in terms of their layout and design that don't subscribe to the standard architectural tropes. Just ways that are just a little, just different, experimental. The way, like the reason he was called Picasso of architecture is because Picasso would take, a portrait of a person, but he would find a different way to present it in a way that kind of went aside from like realism or modernism. And Darabont kind of did the same thing with architecture. He just sort of laid them out a little bit more peculiarly than others. So what else do you want to do? That's something you would have gotten on the first round.
Okay. Can I try to verify any information that we've gotten about the residents? So like they say that there were like books that they've written or like comics that they were a part of. Like, can I verify any of that information?
Okay. You have an agent name for the sci-fi writer, Karun, for the comic book writer, and you have an editor name for the sci-fi author.
Okay. Like, I just want to look up the sci-fi author. Like, has he actually written books? Just a quick, like...
Oh, yeah. You do a quick Dewey Decimal search. Yeah, he does. He has a whole series of, I think it's called Night Sea novels. It's like a whole series of science fiction novels.
Okay. Then I will do the editor.
What do you mean you will do the editor?
Just do
it's
it.
Not that kind of stream
for the editor.
It's against Twitch TOS. You're looking. What do you mean you're looking for the editor? What does this mean?
So just following up on that lead.
So you're trying to contact the editor, or are you looking up the editor in the public library?
Looking up the editor.
Okay. You're in a public library, and you look up the editor, and the editor has edited other things.
Anything that looks interesting, just same genre type stuff?
No, it's just a variety of different books. Some of them are Roger Carroon's books, but there's others as well. Carmen Wagner works for Crescent Publishing. Crescent Publishing publishes Roger Carroon's books, but several others as well. Seems like a legitimate publishing house.
You should contact him.
I'll gather contact information for each of them.
You wouldn't find that in a public library.
Yellow pages?
Okay.
White pages? One of the two.
Okay, you guys
Phone
have
book.
you guys have access to a police department. You guys are FBI agents. If you have names and you want to get contact information, you can. There's ways of grabbing it. But we'll say you can get easy access to Carmen Wagner. Sure. Back over to Agent Vessel. We're kind of pushing into the later afternoon of your Saturday. What are you doing? You've been running around town, upsetting people left and right. Who would you like to upset now?
This lead isn't really helping out, so I'm gonna just meet up with the dudes.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, not really.
Okay. Derek.
Yes.
What would you like to do?
Since I'm in the library, would I have come across Chelsea at all? What she was looking up?
Sure.
Okay, I'll like walk over to Chelsea and kind of just slump or like sit down in the chair next to her and say, "Any luck on any of your stuff you've been looking into?"
Broadlebin doesn't exist. Like, it's not real. So
Not real.
like as Broadlebin, obviously it's a building. We should go to public records.
Okay. Do you need a ride?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Okay. Chelsea and I will make our way over to public records.
Okay. I'm kind of curious. You think it would be open on a Saturday?
Ooh, that's a
I was
good
assuming
question.
not, which is why I was trying to milk the library for everything it's worth, because I was assuming a building like that would not be open on Saturday.
That's a good point.
That was my thought on
Okay.
looking up everything we could at the library.
Just to move things along. Go ahead and roll bureaucracy there, Chelsea, or end album if you want. Both you can roll it.
Yeah, my bureaucracy's 40.
Go for it.
Oh,
Solid.
nice.
9.
Okay. If it wasn't clear already, you're 100% certain, without a doubt, that there has never been a Hotel Broadlebin in New York City.
Yeah.
That is what you've learned.
Just from going to public records?
Yeah.
That's not what I wanted.
Okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do at
specifically? I was hoping. Would you think public records would be a place where they have like the what is it that I'm looking for? The architect like drafts of the building. Like each time the building's been worked on.
Okay. Yeah, you can. So if you dig into that, the actual building itself, apparently ArtLife has owned it since 1967. Which they bought it off of Star Corporation, who they didn't own it for very long. And apparently prior to that, it was known as the Lundeen House, and it was owned by a New York millionaire by the name of Henry Lundeen. You also get a... Sorry, go ahead. You're going to say them?
Lundeen was one of the names on the list. On the night floors. Like the pictures and stuff. H. Lundeen?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you were saying? Sorry.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything more. Oh, yeah, you can also get blueprints of the building.
Blueprints, thank you.
So I will make that. You can see if I can grab that for you. Around here somewhere.
floor.
Count the floors.
Let's show it to you. So there you go. Ground floor, first floor, second floor. Basement doesn't seem to be on here, but ground floor, first floor, and second floor, you do have that specifically.
So one of the things that stuck out to me was David was talking about how Van Fitz's apartment was much larger than anyone else's apartment. And like I would check that with this, and they all seem to be like mirrored layouts.
Pretty much the same, yeah. Some slight variations, but nothing noticeable.
Okay, so that would definitely be something I'd want to check out later the next time we go back.
Okay. All right. Back at the library there, Agent Fawn, one of the librarians brings out to you kind of some more books about Darabandi, or maybe you start going into it some more. You find a few things in addition to it. When you were kind of asking about like him just dropping off the map, you get some more details. He disappeared in 1950, apparently. And after that disappearance, he started to become suspected. He was like a suspect in a series of drownings, children's drownings.
Oh.
Beginning in 1947. And the books that you're reading also sort of speculate that he may be responsible for more, but he vanished without a trace in 1950. And apparently he had a lot of debts, and he was declared legally dead by his mother about 10 years later.
And so his mother would be how old?
Dead.
Yeah, okay.
He was, remember, Darabandi was born in like late 19th century, and so his mom would be dead by now.
That's right.
Apparently, he left behind. When they were, I guess, when they were searching his apartment, trying to find him. He left behind a drowned body of a 5-year-old by the name of Isabel Sawyer. Also, a log book, which appeared to track the deaths of children dating back to 1921.
Can I try to follow up on like newspaper articles or anything about Isabella Singer?
The only thing you get is information about like the declaration of her death. There's no more information about that. Never was officially solved.
Oh goodness. Oh. That's distressing information.
Jeff, real quick. While I'm with Agent Chelsea, am I able to see like certificates of occupancy in the McAllister building since she got the blueprints?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll say you have a list. You would need to have it verified because you can get ownership of it, but you're looking more for information probably from ArtLife, since they would have like because they're specifically showing up as ownership of it. And who they're particularly renting them out to. But I will say that with your successful bureaucracy role, you have a list of like the same occupants that that they both spoke to. So Van Fitz and Manuel and Karoon and Louis Post.
Is Castaigne mentioned as one of them?
Is not.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Thanks.
The logbook, John, it was something that they found like in his apartment after he disappeared and they were looking for him. So it was something like he had been collecting since he had been logging it since 1921, which is one of the reasons why he's suspected of having murdered a bunch of children over the course of a long time.
Did he have any like marriages or anything?
Nothing on record.
Oh. I might say after kind of reading that information that was a little bit distressing, so I might maybe get up and take a walk.
Sure.
Maybe I'll run into Vessel. Did you come back to the library, or where did you go?
Yeah, I was going to meet up with where everyone was. Where I left you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm the only one still here where you left us.
Okay. So we'll say, just to kind of get to a good stopping point, the two of you are able to meet up. They're closing down the library at this point. I don't know what time it closes. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. But we'll say it's at closing time on Saturday in New York. The two of you who went to City Hall Public Records Office are getting essentially kicked out because you've been keeping these clerks who were just here like to open up some and kind of do some extra work over the weekend to catch up on stuff, and like you've kind of getting in their way. But yeah, we'll say that around the same time they kind of close up. We'll say it's like 6 o'clock or so. Daylight is ending. What are you guys doing? What's your plan now?
Album does want to stop by a closest police building to look into some records, maybe like potential missing persons and whatnot.
Okay. Missing persons is there particular names you're looking at?
Yeah, so I want to see if the name Castaigne is anywhere, and then also that Vega person, who I don't believe I ever got a last name for, but I feel like Vega is unique enough that I won't get much.
Yeah. When you go through, both of those names, like, they pop up, but some of them have multiple entries. Like, so we'll say you probably meet up with Giordanda, or you go, you flash your badge at a specific FBI. What's your bureaucracy at?
40.
Yeah, you would be able to get in and kind of throw the badge around. Take a little time. It's evening on a Saturday, but they're able to help you out a bit. And we'll say probably, I think, who was with you? Chelsea was with you.
Chelsea. Yeah, I have names I would look into too.
In terms of Vega and Castaigne, nothing. No names pop up in particular in terms of missing persons. There's other names, like Castaigne does pop up. It's not an incredibly uncommon name. Neither is Vega, but without a first name for Vega or a last name for Vega. But there's nothing about a missing person. There's nothing about like a missing patient or anything like that. No information to follow up on there. What were you looking up there?
I want to look up the names that were like paired with the black and white photos in the night floors. So like
at the police station?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your bureaucracy?
So 50.
Okay. All right. So go through these one at a time. So in terms of like the Darabandi stuff, Darabandi, you get kind of the same stuff that I was already explaining to Melissa, and that's he was suspected. You do, however, they do mention like when you start asking around to some of trying to go through some old records and stuff, apparently, the New York City Police, their Department of Records and Information Services, has Darabandi's journal, apparently, as part of the. It's part of like whatever they like their collection of stuff. Go ahead and roll your bureaucracy first.
41 success.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So let me roll something really quick. It takes a little time and a little hard nosing, but they're able to bring you out like this old, kind of grimy it's been in some kind of evidence bag for a long period of time. But you start reading through it. It's going to take a while, but assuming it's going to take the rest of the night. And so they kind of set you up in a little area where you can kind of go and read and get some coffee from time to time. But this is basically the end of your day, and you're reading deep into the night, probably past midnight as you're flipping through it. But it goes back to May 1921, where Darabandi describes on going east on a whim. So he was living in Chicago for a time, developing various thought houses and stuff, and he decides to just head east on a whim. And he this is all first person, and he checks into the first hotel that caught his eye, and he mentions the Hotel Broadalbin. Another one of his entries, he talks about Henry Lundeen, a sort of a millionaire who made his money off of textile mills, and how apparently Lundeen was like an admirer of a man by the name of Ian de Craig, and that apparently he was hoping to secure a copy of Le Roi en Jaune. What languages do you speak?
I speak French, Latin, and Greek.
He speaks French.
Yes.
He was hoping to secure a copy of The King in Yellow from the architect, Asa Darabandi, but Darabandi insisted that he never had. He never had one. Later, also in May, these all kind of May 1921 early entries. He describes receiving a phone call at the Hotel Broadalbin by someone by the name of Bale, and that he serves the king. Also, about a week later, he starts to describe this monstrous depression that he has been overtaken by, and he begins to express a desire to kill himself. But fortunately, he had met and befriended some people at the hotel, including, and he references Wilde, Gary T, and Rourke. A couple days later, there's kind of like a frizzled handwriting. You get the sense that there's like kind of a terror and like a disbelief in some of his writing, where he seems to be worried or obsessed about some of his own actions, and he decided to surrender a copy of the Libro Secretorum Manifesta to a bookshop in the hope that he can break free of what he describes as an urge to kill. But the next morning, a copy of The King in Yellow and a red leather-bound book showed up outside his door at the Broadalbin, delivered by a man dressed in red. And he's been getting these phone calls that have been frustrating him, like all the time in the hotel.
Jesus.
Let's see.
I speak Latin. Do I know what Libro Secretorium translates to?
I think it's just this secret, like a secret manifesto. I don't have a specific translation, but like
Got it.
It's like a secret manifesto, whatever that means. Part of the packet of evidence that they have with this journal, they have like a crime report from 1950. Apparently a fire broke out in his office on Mott Street on Asa Darabandi's office in New York, and after it was extinguished, the body of Isabel Sawyer was found dead from drowning next to a wash tub filled with bloody water. A warrant was issued for his arrest, but he was never found. He had about $200,000 in debts to a bank. And the logbook that you've been kind of going through all this night, apparently he's killed maybe about 20 different children over the course of 30 years in his time in New York.
Oh, gosh.
So, Derek, you were also at the police station. Is there something in particular? Isn't there something else, like there's dead ends on the two names that you had? Is there anything else you wanted to do while you were here?
I don't. Sorry, I'm
We
looking
could
through my other notes. What were you gonna say, Ashley?
Mike Seaver is Louis Post's agents. Michelle Van Fitz is the bitch. Carmen Wagner.
Okay, but he's at the police station, so like talking about an agent. Let's go ahead and call it for the night then, and you guys can like talk off air about like, your organization of how you want to research and everything.
Okay.
So many things.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll end it there on a creepy journal that you start reading through about a guy who's talking about killing kids and stuff. So,
Because of a book.
Oh, goodness.
possibly. Who knows? And getting some crazy phone call. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and stop it there. Let me close down the
If only we had
music.
cell phones, so while I was at the library, you could tell me about these books, and then I could look them up while
One
at
of you
the
does
library.
has a cell phone. Does have a cell phone, but
I do have him with me.
she doesn't
But
have
you
We're
don't
all
have
not
a cell
using
phone.
That's what I was saying. Like, we don't have other people that have the other sides of the cell phones.
Yeah.
You call each other.
Okay. So go ahead and hopefully you checked all the skills that you failed, so you can go ahead and do your rolls later. Don't worry about doing it right now, but like do it later, so we don't have to hear the dice going. Other things from us. So Ashley, tomorrow night is over on the Goodman Games official Twitch channel.
Correct.
9 Central.
Yep.
And you're playing America with Defenders of Cobalt and Steam Steel Murder.
Yes.
Melissa and I are back on this channel, on our own channel, on Monday, playing Alien, 9 Central. And then next week we'll be back, hopefully, from Delta Green. We're starting to get near the end of this first chapter. It seems like as things are kind of pieces are starting to crystallize in some ways, events are coming to a head, etc. But yeah, and the other thing is we're starting up a new game soon, probably in May. I think we're gonna be playing some Worlds Without Number. We've already talked a little bit about it, so we might be playing that pretty soon. And one other special little one shot coming soon as well. So keep an eye on the channel. So if you haven't followed us, go ahead and follow us. And if you are looking for any of our old work, go ahead and go over to our YouTube channel. Look for Adventures in Lollygagging. You can find all of our old stuff. Previous episodes of Delta Green, Alien, Vason, Mutant Year Zero, a whole mess load of stuff. Things from the Floods, Vihander, etc. But that's it for the night. I'm going to put us on the end screen, raid one of our wonderful friends who are streaming games elsewhere on the things that we call the interwebs. And that'll be it for us. So good night, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right.